Alright, y'all. So I'm gonna make a video here today and just kind of ramble and see where it goes. So anyway, there's a lot of prepping channels. Mine is pretty much one included, although I do more homestead and farm stuff than I do just normal prepper talk or whatever. But either way, there's a lot. And so there is a ton of videos out there on all different subjects, all different things prepping. And it's really hard to cover stuff that have not already been covered because of that. And there's a lot of full-time prepper channels that make videos every day or pretty much every day. So, it's no shortage of prepper info or whatever. So anyway, with that being said, there's still so much to prepping. It really depends on what kind of prepper you are or what kind do you want to become. Do you want to be a, 2-week prepper, a 2-month prepper, 2 years, or long-term prepper? So, 2-week prepper. Well, starting off any form of being a prepper, you need, self-defense tools and things like that. So that's not really what I'm going to mention, but that's for every category. So 2-week prepper, you have basic things to get you through a couple of weeks, food and water and, maybe some hygiene, a little bit extra stuff put back, maybe a, normal medical kit, something like that. Kind of, normal stuff, which you can stretch out, ration and stuff like that to get by, a week or two. Fairly simple with pretty much minimum stuff. 2 months, you're thinking a little bit more long term. You got a little bit more things put back, food and, water and probably some extra heating sources, things like that. Maybe a little bit better medical kit, maybe 2 medical kits, basic stuff like that. And then 2 years, of course, you got more. So, there's still a lot of things that we got to do and need to do and all that kind of stuff. But I am definitely in the long-term mindset. I want to be set up where if it ends tomorrow, then we can basically go on. Not so much life as normal, but life in general. I want to be able to provide our own food, have a source of water, all of these things to sustain life, kind of, and not have to worry about a whole lot. So that's why we started doing the homestead. But the homestead is more than that. You got to enjoy it, and you've got to really see the purpose in it. You've got to understand what it is and what it isn't. Having a homestead is not a guaranteed luxury existence if the world ends. And, most people's homestead is not self-sufficient, which mine is not 100% self-sufficient either. We're working to take steps to get that way, but most people have, let's say, 3 or 4 goats, maybe 5, about 10 chickens, maybe a couple of sheep, whatever. and, of course, garden and everything, but they think that that is set up for the apocalypse. No, it's not. You're probably still buying feed for your animals, like I am, but we're working on that. But if everything ends and that's all you have, it's going to run out very quick. 5 goats are not going to feed your family for a very long period of time. Raising goats is what I found to be a pain in the butt. We have had 2 different billies there, and none of them have produced a kid yet. It takes 5 months for a goat to kid out. And then you have to grow them up to butchering size before you can think about eating. That whole period of time you're feeding, the billy goat and the mama goat, the buck and the doe as they're usually called, with no return on them. Now chickens, you can get eggs and stuff like that, but eggs only go so far. If you're trying to use them for meat birds, like I said, if you've only got about 10 chickens, then you're going to have to hatch the eggs out, which are taking about 21 days, I think, if I remember right. And, using an incubator is the best way that I've found. Just leaving them under the chicken, a lot of times you don't know how long they've been there and if they've been set on like they're supposed to, and, yada, yada, yada. But that's, you're going to lose a couple of the little ones for whatever reason. So that's going to cut your number down. So if you have 10 chickens and you save all their eggs one day, you should have 10 little ones. But there's probably going to be a couple that don't hatch and lose a couple along the way. So you'll probably end up with about 5 out of that. And then you've got to raise them up, to butchering size, which depends on the breed and everything else, how long that takes and how big they get and everything. But it's not going to be a quick and easy process. For people to continue to live like they're living now with a high protein diet, you have to have a lot of animals. A lot of ways to feed those animals. A lot of work to feed those animals. Having cows and, goats and things like that, you've got to have hay to feed them through the winter. You've got to get that done in the summer and the spring, on top of your gardening and planting other crops and stuff like that. Like we're planning on planting this corn this year for, the making feed, feeding all the animals really, but mainly for hog feed. They eat the most. It's a lot of things that go into being completely self-sufficient. And I'm not discouraging anybody from homesteading. I'm just saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. It's not going to be a get out of the apocalypse free card. So maybe take that into consideration. Maybe there are things that you can do to be more prepared. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Everybody's situation is different. People help. Community helps. But that's more mouths to feed. So if you're bringing a big community together, you need to have the projects and things like that to accommodate for that. I'm sure that our group will be helping us this year doing the corn planting and harvesting and everything like that to make feed, so we can help each other out with the labor and feed for the animals and different things like that. But hopefully you get what I'm saying. If you've got a group, if you've got 2 or 3 families or something like that, and y'all have similar size homesteads, and you're in it for the long haul, maybe you can go in together and either buy a piece of land or rent a piece of land to ramp up farming, grow bigger gardens for y'all to put up as a group. Or, like I said, you can rent a field or buy a field or whatever, plant corn and grain and stuff to feed your animals. All of you go in together on it, all of you work it together, and you split it. And in turn, you all save money on feed, and it'll be, you won't have to worry about going to the feed store and they not having it. You'll have it. Like I said, if you're growing as a community, you need to be growing in all aspects, everything that you're doing in the group. All right. I guess that's about all I got for this one. I'm going to make another video now because I was actually going to go the direction here of, maybe some long-term prep ideas, but we kind of got off on another tangent, so that'll just be another video. All right. Stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See you.